Ba Ba Thank you. We are Chair Chen Zhang. Again, my apologies to the viewers. Our morning engagement went over, but we're excited to be here today. Chair Chen Zhang, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Secretary Schuman. And good morning. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone to our April board meeting. It's good to see everyone today on this final meeting of the spring semester. I would like to say spring is in the air, but in fact, we actually saw snow this morning. So I am sure spring is around the corner, and so is our graduation right around the corner. Very exciting time. And I would like to begin by asking Secretary Schuman if we have a quorum for today's meeting.
We do, Chair Chen Zhang.
Thank you. Is the technology we're using to live stream this meeting functioning properly?
I've just affirmed, yes, we are streaming live now.
Thank you, Secretary Schuman. At this time, I would like to call on the board for a motion to accept today's agenda.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion approved. And are there any comments from our trustees concerning our March 18th meeting minutes? Hearing none, I would like to entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion approved. I have been looking forward to today's meeting because in addition to attending to the action items and hearing from our shared governance partners, we will also meet some inspiring stories from several students who will become Western Michigan University graduates in just 9 days. I think that I can speak for our entire board when I say that I'm grateful for any opportunities to meet our students and to hear how their experience at Western have enabled them to pursue their dreams and set them on the road to success. Their stories remind us of why we are all committed to doing our best to support and guide this institution into the future. And as part of that work to look forward, the board had the opportunity to participate in the university's Higher Learning Commission recordation review process recently. As we have noted, this is an important effort to ensure that the university maintains its high academic standards and it continues to strive for improvements. We were pleased to be part of it, and I would like to thank the university's accreditation team, Andrew Holmes, Adriana Coso-Reyes, and Amanda Gear for their leadership, and we look forward to hearing the results of the review in the coming weeks. Among the action items that will be brought to the board today, we will be hearing from Provost Bott on a newly simplified undergraduate tuition structure. And this effort represents important work to realign our structure in a manner that is similar to our peer institution in the state. This change should also make it easier for our students and the families to understand. In the past, it's almost like our own standard test. Can you figure out what tuition are you paying? It will also enable multi-year financial aid strategies. And thank you, Provost, for bringing this to us today. The Provost will also provide information regarding a Paycheck Protection Program, PPP loan, to the WMUK FM radio station. With challenges in fundraising over the course of the pandemic, the station is seeking this support to continue serving the community. We also have 2 consent topics on today's agenda. One is the personnel report, and the other includes a number of curriculum proposals. The proposals that are coming before us have each undergone a rigorous process of review and consideration through the appropriate academic channels as outlined by the Faculty Senate. This effort involves steps to ensure that appropriate resources are available to support the changes and includes the board's involvement as part of its fiduciary responsibilities. We appreciated the diligence required by all of the individuals and the bodies that are part of this process. They all contribute to strengthening our academic offerings and point to the health and vibrancy of our university. At this time, I would like to ask President Montgomery to share his remarks with the board and those in attendance. President Montgomery, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Chair Shenzang, and welcome everybody. Today is the 50th Earth Day. At Western, we've been long active in environmental protection and conservation and sustainability, and we're actively trying to address the challenges of climate change, and have been doing so for a number of years. We were one of the first higher education institutions to develop an action plan and commit to carbon neutrality, and we're not resting on our laurels. Our university committed to achieving net zero carbon emissions by 2065. And now Provost Bott has charged our carbon neutrality committee with looking at whether it's feasible to accelerate those goals to either 2050 and to cut our carbon footprint in half by 2030. The Carbon Neutrality Committee is made up of faculty, staff, and students who are dedicated to reviewing our progress so far, examining the scientific data, making sound recommendations for how our institutions might move forward in this direction. I want to applaud this group and look forward to reviewing their results. As Chair Chinzang noted, we're approaching spring commencement. Doesn't feel like spring sometimes when you look out and see snow, but nonetheless, it's coming right around the corner. And it's an incredible time for everybody at the university to reflect on how all the work is coming together, and we pause to celebrate the incredible achievements of our graduates. This semester, we'll be congratulating 2,433 graduates and welcome them to the Western Michigan University Alumni Association. The virtual ceremonies for all of our colleges will be held on May 1st. And I'd like to invite the entire university community to watch and participate in those ceremonies. You can visit the commencement website and you'll find links to each college's ceremony and the time that it will go live. And it's also wmu.edu/commencement if you need to find out where that website is. In addition to virtual commencement exercises, each of the college will be celebrating our graduates during small outdoor socially distanced activities. My thanks to those who put their creativity to use in coming up with ways to give our graduates a chance to don their caps and gowns and enjoy safe and joyous celebrations. I'm looking forward to hearing later on today from 4 members of the class of 2021 who will be joining us. They'll share their stories about how Western is, what it's meant to them and how we've been preparing them for the future. And I know that you'll be impressed as I am about how much they've accomplished during their time here on campus. In addition to congratulating those who are graduating, I'd also like to recognize several of our employees who've recently earned awards from the Administrative Professionals Association. These individuals were recognized during the APA's annual Spring Awards program, and I join with the association in congratulating them and thanking them for their contributions to Western Michigan University. The Outstanding New Professional Award was given to Nathan Yen, Director of the LGBT Student Services. This award is given to a staff member who has worked at Western for 5 or fewer years, who provides outstanding service to the department and division and goes above and beyond expectations and shows initiative and creativity. The Outstanding Professional Award was presented to Laura Secantel, Director of Teacher and Administrator Certification in the College of Education and Human Development. This award is presented to the individual who has at least 5 years of service, who is not only exceptional at their job, but dedicated to profession and to the university. The third award was presented to Tony Griffin, the Tony Griffin Service Award. This award was presented to William McGuinty, an institutional research analyst. It's named in memory of past APA president and WMUK radio director, Tony Griffin. It's given to a member of APA who has provided outstanding service to the organization. So congratulations to all those deserving recipients. We also recently celebrated Spring Research Convocation. During that event, Vice President Kinsey named 3 new Presidential Innovation Professors. This is an award that's presented to recognize outstanding faculty members who demonstrate creativity in research and entrepreneurial approach to their discipline. The 3 new recipients are Dr. Masood Ashtabar, Dr. Wendy Bean, and Dr. Sue Ellen Christian. Dr. Ashtabar is a professor of electrical and computer engineering. He'll be using his award to develop flexible and portable microplasma discharge platform to sterilize wounds, incisions, and surgical equipment. This tool will not only help prevent infection, but Dr. Ashbar will include graduate, undergraduate, and high school students in his research and give them valuable experience and opportunities to explore science. Dr. Bean is an associate professor of biological sciences and works in quantum biology, the study of the interactions between particles and living organisms that are smaller than an atom. It's a field with enormous promise and one that would greatly benefit from collaborations with investigators from fields like biology, chemistry, physics, and engineering. Dr. Bean's project will include an interdisciplinary training program that will bring trainers from other scientific disciplines to Western to gain experience in quantum biology research and give Western students the chance to cross disciplinary boundaries in training other quantum biology labs, and get training in other biology labs. Dr. Christian is developing an interactive museum exhibit focused on educating the public about media and news literacy. The 10-station interactive exhibit will be on display at Kalamazoo Valley Museum next year, and all of Kalamazoo Public School, middle school social studies students will tour it during that time. It may later go on display at other Michigan museums. The exhibit will also serve as a prototype for the National Endowment for Humanities digital projects for the public grant requests for production of traveling national exhibits. Each of these projects really exemplifies the kind of vital contribution that Western Michigan University faculty, as well as their peers across higher education, contribute to society. I want to congratulate the new innovation professors. We look forward to hearing more about them in the future. Before I turn the microphone back to the chair, I'd like to share my thanks to the outgoing Western Student Association President, Taylor West, for her incredible leadership and dedication to the organization over the past year. You've been an incredible voice for your peers during a very difficult time. I wish you all the best with your future and say it was a pleasure working with you. With that, I'll conclude my time.
Thank you, President. It's always great to hear the accomplishments of our students and the faculties. I would like now welcome representatives from our shared governance partners. And we have with us today, Ms. Marilyn Kritzman, the Faculty Senate President. And I'm going to introduce Taylor first, Craig, and Ms. Taylor West, Western Michigan University Student Association President. And I would just to echo Mr. President's comment to take this time to thank Taylor for her dedication to the student body and for her commitment to representing their voice throughout the past year. And it's indeed a very unusual and a difficult time, and you have handled and navigated very well. So thank you, Taylor. And then we have with us Mr. Craig Morris, which is who is the Graduate Student Association President. So first, we're going to hear from Ms. Marilyn Kritzman. Marilyn, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. And good morning, Chair Chen Zhang, members of the board, President Montgomery, campus colleagues, and guests. On behalf of the Western Michigan University Faculty Senate, thank you for this opportunity to address the board and allowing one of your designated partners in shared governance to update you on our activities. The Western Michigan University administration has approved and recommended and signed 4 recommended memoranda of action. The first one is MOA 20-04, establishment of the WMU Essential Studies Data Governance Policy. The second, MOA 20-07, revision of the organizational changes of academic units. MOA 20-08, revision of the university's admission criteria for doctoral programs. And MOA 21-01, revision to language to allow co-chairs for theses, specialist, and dissertation committees. These actions will make our organization more responsive and more nimble to the curriculum proposals as they come through the organizational structure. In addition, our International Education Council is discussing how to introduce and market the benefits of WMU's international partnerships to more of its departments and programs. And along with IEC, or the International Education Council, the Senate would like to thank long-term international education leader, Dr. James Butterfield, as he steps down from that council to move into phased retirement. The Faculty Senate Executive Board is finalizing recommendations to the posthumous degree policy, which will be shared with Dr. Montgomery in the near future. At our full April Senate meeting, we conducted elections for council, committee, and at-large Senate vacancies, and those elected will assume office May 1st. We are close to finalizing our summer board schedule and working on our end of the year report, which you'll hear more about the next time we meet. We will close out a very productive year on May 13 at our final Faculty Senate meeting. This past Sunday afternoon, I had the honor of speaking at the 30-year Zoom reunion of the 1992 orientation leaders for Western Michigan University. Sorry. It was a trip down memory lane, and it was also refreshing to see everyone in their WMU gear, the displays of Bronco swag during the fight song, the alma mater, and all of the introductions. It was also a reminder of the impact of a WMU degree, the WMU co-curricular experience, and the learning experiences and opportunities our university provides to future leaders. A college campus is truly a living, learning laboratory. As I reflect on the students that I and others have worked with over the years, I see tremendous talent and, more importantly, the potential for unending impact in the greater society. Medical professionals and educators in all areas and at all levels, lawyers, political and business leaders and entrepreneurs, clergy, pilots, aviation management, and military officials, and nationally known actors, musicians, and professional athletes are among some of the WMU alumni making a daily impact. It is truly humbling to be part of an institution of higher education with such reach and with an alumni base that has such pride in its alma mater. What struck me about Sunday's event was the discussion surrounding the marketing slogan of the early 90s for the university, which they remembered and talked about. And that slogan was Western Michigan University, where you belong. 30 years later, this group of students affirmed that attending Western Michigan University was the best decision they ever made. To me, this is part of the Western Michigan University's competitive greatness, so well known as part of our university's history. As we close in on the end of another academic year that will go down in the history books as challenging and unique, but not quite over, let me please encourage each of us to find some time to reflect on the past year, the good and the bad. Let each of us look for our own competitive greatness. As some of you know, I'm a John Wooden junkie, and I have every book that the man has ever written or co-written. And so I want to take a moment and share an excerpt from the book that he wrote, which is Coach Wooden's Pyramid of Success Playbook. You may be able to see that as I lift it up here. If we demonstrate all the preceding building block qualities, we have the potential for success. But without competitive greatness, we won't be the best that we can be. Competitive greatness is the pinnacle of the pyramid. With competitive greatness, we can deliver our best when our best is needed. And at the same time, we can make those around us better as well. A person with this quality loves a challenge, the tougher the better. And my side note is we all know who loves the tough challenges on Western's campus. Having competitive greatness does not always mean that we're the only one who scores the most points or we always score the winning shot. Lou Alcindor, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, as he's better known, could have set every college scoring record in the book, but he didn't. He could see the big picture and always reined in his own play for elevating the play of his teammates. As a result, he was rewarded with a national championship every year he played for UCLA. We don't have to be superstars to reach competitive greatness. All we have to do is learn to rise to every occasion, give our best effort, and make those around us better as we do it. The Faculty Senate believes in competitive greatness for both the university and the academic enterprises it represents. We strive to do our best work for the university, the students, and the faculty each and every day. I encourage everyone on this call to reflect on the concept of competitive greatness, what it means to us personally, what it means to us as an organization, and what it means to us as a legacy for our students. Because in the end, the students and the future are the reason we do what we do each and every day. Thank you for allowing me to address the board this morning.
Thank you, Marilyn, for your thoughts and sharing your thoughts and your experience and your wisdom. The competitive greatness and attending Western Michigan University is for sure one of the best decisions I have ever made, and it contributes a lot to who I am today. And as you and I actually discussed yesterday, I believe in the power of education. I think we change the world through the students we change, the students we educate, one student at a time. We change the future of the world by give our students competitive greatness. So thank you again. So next I am going to, we're going to hear from Ms. Taylor West. And I think she is also going to introduce to us the new president of the WSA. Go ahead, Taylor.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone's allergies haven't been kicking their behinds like mine. Also, did anyone see the montage of the 4 seasons yesterday? I thought it was going to be safe to wear a coat outside, but then of course I step outside and it starts snowing while being sunny. What sorcery witchcraft is this? Obviously, Mother Nature is upset with us because we continue to take and not replace natural resources. And even though it's Earth Day, that's another conversation for another day that I won't get into right now. Students are preparing for their summer plans, summer jobs, summer vacation, etc. The last week of classes hit students a lot harder than previous years as we shifted our university's spring break from the beginning of March to the end. In a recent meeting I had with the president, he asked me about the current campus climate as it relates to COVID vaccinations. I can say that we've come a long way since September. In conversations I've had with the student body, there's been a shift between vaccine hesitancy to students becoming more comfortable and willing to receive their 2 doses. During one of our WSA meetings, we spent a chunk of time discussing vaccines, who's gotten their vaccine, what were your symptoms, so you didn't turn into a zombie. After students had the opportunity to talk with their constituents, students felt more comfortable receiving their vaccines. Many of our Broncos were taken aback by the university's decision to close the College of Education and Human Development library and turn it into an ambiguous space for what resulted in a petition with close to 100 signatures on it. A space that was once known as a resource to students is no longer an option. During my previous update to the board, I talked about some of our upcoming events we had with our organization that I'd like to reflect on now. The second panel discussion centered around environmental justice was a hit. We were able to connect community partners to students in discussing the importance of environmental racism as it relates to the Kalamazoo area and those affected in the community. Although it wasn't technically a dinner, our annual dinner with the delegates was hosted by our VPs for Political Affairs and Community Involvement, Emma Barata and Henry Theory. We weren't sure if we'd be able to host this event due to the pandemic, but of course our student leaders go above and beyond to provide new networking opportunities for students. Thank you all to those who had attended that event, by the way. Our first ever Western Waltz provided students the freedom to let loose and safely engage in a fun environment before heading home for spring break. We've passed new legislation in the last couple of weeks on the topics of university climate action and diversity inclusion training for WMU faculty and staff. It's been a little over a week since WMU's 4th annual Giving Day, and for those who don't know, the Western Student Association raised close to $8,000, the third highest donated fund on Giving Day, right under athletics and the overall fund for the institution. This would not have been possible without all of you, and even though if you didn't have the chance to donate, you still have been a part in supporting and empowering student leaders to participate in Giving Day, to uplift initiatives like the Student Social Justice Fund. A huge thank you to everyone who supported the Social Justice Fund. This past Tuesday, we were able to execute another successful town hall for students, encouraging a reflective conversation about the past year and how we can reimagine a better WMU for the future. Just yesterday, we had our last organizational meeting of the year where we were able to reflect and give some much needed recognition to members. I'd like to spend just a little time reflecting on what this year has been like for me. Receiving one of the most important student leader titles, student body president, came with more hard work and dedication than anything I've ever had to do in my life. Having the duty to represent 24,000 Broncos from first years to seniors, and even partnering with GSA in the support of master's and doctoral students allowed me to broaden my horizons, my perspective as to how WSA and Western can improve and support its community. The passion from students is why I continue to get out of bed and tackle each day as it came. Without the student empowerment, I would not be here today. As a Black female at a predominantly white institution in the highest student leader position, not only have I had to face race, gender, and age discrimination from department leaders and administrators, but also the pressure from a group of taunting students who were not comfortable seeing a Black woman with so much power. Don't get me wrong, there were many sleepless nights where anxiety became too overwhelming, and the pressure led to me crying myself to sleep or not being able to get out of bed due to the doubts and limitations of my mental and physical health. The immense weight of these past 2 years have been the most taxing, yet most transformative time of my life. I was challenged with the grieving of my father's unexpected passing, supporting and assisting a newly widowed mother with severe mental health issues, and figuring out next steps for my future, all while a pandemic raged. The pandemic alone would have been enormously difficult, a difficult challenge for a full-time student to handle, but I'm not anyone. I'm a fighter. I continue to surprise myself, my family, and my community with how I rise from the ashes and continue to radiate light and energy when I walk into a room. Despite these many obstacles, I was able to overcome and push forward to the future. This year has not been easy for anyone, but for me, I constantly revert back to my why, my intentions. Why am I in this position? Why do I lead? I lead because I love the student body. I love the student body because they are the most energetic, resilient, and passionate stakeholders at this institution, so much so that the institution will not blossom the way we know it can without its students. We all come from different backgrounds and walks of life, but what connects us, what brings us here today is this institution. When we come to campus, we must be open-minded to the possibilities of meeting people who operate and present themselves differently. However, when we let the uncomfortability consume us, we can see a lot of adverse effects than what was intended. That's where disrespect, defamation, rumors, mistakes, and challenges sneak their way in. We must keep our eye on the prize, creating a better WMU together. In the words of William Craig, accountability is the glue that bonds commitment to results. We know this feeling all too well in WSA as our motivated senators and even cabinet members held our governing body accountable every day this year. When the act of accountability starts to feel like an attack, it's the review of one's personal bias and feelings that can get in the way of the bigger picture. On all sides, we have to stop taking personal effects to business, as this is not an effective strategy to helping the university. On all in all, hurts our current Broncos and future Broncos. The student body president and vice president positions have one of the most intense jobs at the university as an undergraduate student. Jacoby and I were able to accomplish so much this year with so much support from students, staff, and administrators. We've begun researching the idea of financial support from universities for these positions at other institutions and have began conversations here to make that dream a reality. I remember during the summer, I had a similar, if not the same schedule as Dr. Schumann at one point. We kept seeing each other in virtual meetings all day. The only difference in that scenario is that I was volunteering and he was getting paid to be there and to do so. Beginning our work this summer opposed to September allowed us to move mountains to help encourage healing within our community after much political and civil unrest this summer. And most importantly, allowed us to begin to rebuild our relationship with top administrators. With proper backing from our university, we can eliminate financial burdens in order for these student leaders to dedicate time to the positions that matter, to help create a better WMU. Between Jacoby and I alone, we've worked 6 jobs this year in order to support ourselves, not including our duties and responsibilities as student body president and vice president. We did one heck of a job, right? But could you imagine what more we could have accomplished as a university if the positions had full ride and half ride scholarships? I encourage these conversations not to fall short, as that would be harmful to the progress of this institution. I'd like to introduce the next student body president for the Western Student Association, Alexis Morris. Alexis and I have had similar leadership journeys, starting from the Campus Activities Board and now ending up in student government. I don't know about you, Alexis, but freshman year, Taylor would not have thought we'd make it where we are today. I'm so proud to pass off the baton to this all-star. She's proven herself to be an outstanding leader, innovator, and friend. Even just sticking through this election process shows the resilience and perseverance that is needed for a position like this. I know that she will continue to uplift the reputation of the institution and will continue to push the legacy of WSA. As she is more than qualified to take the reins, I'd like to call to the Alexis Morris to the stage.
Thank you, Taylor. Good morning, everyone. As President West stated, my name is Alexis Morris, and I'm the incoming president of the Western Student Association. It's an honor to formally meet you all today. My executive vice president, Eric Effinger, and I are excited to continue the legacy left behind our predecessors through the continuation of this partnership, rooted in mutual dedication to the betterment of this university. I cannot thank Taylor enough for her continued guidance in this transitionary period, and I'm equally excited as you all to see where her future takes her. That being said, I'll turn things back over to her to round us off. Thank you so much for allowing me to address the board, and I look forward to working together here soon.
So before I close out, I'd like to read an excerpt from the original Broadway production and masterpiece, Hamilton. So as George Washington begins to step down so that another may take his place, he touches on the art of saying goodbye. Of course, Hamilton wasn't at all happy with Washington's decision, but Washington says this: "I promised myself to realize the sweet enjoyment of partaking in the midst of my fellow citizens, the benign influence of good laws under a free government, the ever favorite object of my heart and happy reward, as I trust of our mutual cares, labors, and dangers. One last time, thank you all for allowing me to serve the student body in this institution. I will be cheering on from the sidelines. With Bronco pride, Taylor West signing out. Thank you all."
Thank you. Shani, you have Trustee Pan, you have something to say?
Yeah, like, first of all, Taylor, thank you very much for sharing your experience as being president. Sharing your triumphs, your obstacles allows other students to know how real those experiences are and how you can persevere through them even when you have a lot of things, that is up against you. You did a really good job. The pandemic has put all of us in an uncomfortable position. However, because we are Broncos, we learn how to make things happen even during these times. So I really, really appreciate you for all that you've done. And, I'm a spiritual person, and the Bible says that from the heart reaches the heart. And, you touched me this morning, and I'm sure you touched everybody else. All the best in your next stage and chapters of your life. I wish you much success. And I know you're going to support Alexis because you two seem like you have a really good relationship. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ken Taylor. I think we are looking back, this pandemic was beyond everybody could ever have expected, right? I mean, what do you ever think of a day? I know plenty of people who have never worn a mask in their lifetime. And we're sudden nowadays, it's a norm. So, but I think looking back, we all realized because we're Broncos, so what did not kill us make us stronger. We came out of this to this day. I think a lot of us can say we are stronger than who we were before the pandemic. So I know, Taylor, you definitely would say that. So I have full confidence that you will carry the Bronco spirit to your career and to whatever life takes you. And we will I'll be watching you, so keep in touch. And welcome, Alexis. Now we have two Morris. So next, we're going to have our Miss Morris, Craig Morris, from the Graduate Student Association president.
All right, good morning, everyone. Is it still morning? Yes, it's still morning. As Taylor made her presentation, I felt everything that you were saying, Taylor, and sometimes as leaders, we all can allude to this. Most times don't talk about the struggles. We come out, we present the good, what's glowing, and we don't talk about the struggle, but you are simply an awesome and incredible leader, Taylor, and I'm happy that we have gotten the chance to work together over this past year. And as you move on from Western, all the best. I know you are out for greatness, and we always see and hear of you. All right, to everyone else, again, good morning. We have made it to almost yet the end of another semester, though we still had to adapt to our new normal. All the work, the sacrifices, and dedication across the campus has helped us to be where we are today. This year, the Graduate Student Association has been an advocate for students in areas such as racial and social justice, mental health, engagement, academic, and professional development. We were invited and sat at the right tables, contributing to the much needed discussion on how to make our students feel welcomed, valued, a part of something great here at WMU, which in return adds value to their degree attainment. However, we cannot sit comfortable where we are today. Higher education is at a unique place, and we must capitalize on every opportunity available to make the best of where we are to continue to move us forward. As we look to reopening our campus in stages over the summer into the fall, I urge our administrators to put emphasis on our students' mental health. I did say students' mental health, but upon reflecting, I have to say mental health of all our stakeholders, our administrators, our faculty, our staff, and of course, yes, our students. Mental health is a critical piece to our campus success, and it's something that we should put great emphasis on. In our continued spirit of gratitude, we express thanks to our administrators. You have stayed the course. You have fight the fight. You have made the harsh but necessary decisions this year to have us where we are as a campus. Your support to guide us to where we are is noted, and we say thank you. I want to especially highlight our provost and the provost council this morning. Our academic units are better for your leadership. Um, Prior to COVID, we all can agree that some of our academic units were in olden days. COVID has pushed so much forward, and the leadership of our provost and her council has made an impact, a long-lasting impact on our campus. You're innovators, you're creative thinkers, you're passionate doers. You have planned, executed, and implemented an academic plan that allowed us here at the university to stand out and to continue moving our students towards degree completion despite everything that was going on. Our students salute you, Madam Provost, and your team. I also want to say thank you to the Graduate College. Our partnership over the years have been nothing but great. And this year it was nothing short of that. I also want to thank the executive board of the Grad Student Association. I could not have done it on my own. You would think it's virtual, so we have the time. Meetings roll into meetings, roll into meeting. It was a lot. But my executive board helped to keep me grounded, and we worked together for the greater good of our grad students. As we are coming to the end of the spring semester, we're close to finalizing our new leadership team at the Grad Student Association, who will continue the work for our grad students. Hopefully in our next meeting, I'll be able to introduce our new senior leadership for the Grad Student Association. On one final note, I say congratulations to all our graduates. You have made it. This year, you have fought and you have made it to the end. I know it's different for all of us, including myself, that will go in summer one, but we came here for a degree. We got a degree and a whole lot of experience. And I salute and say congratulations to each and every one of our graduates who will be joining virtually or doing the drive-throughs across campus. Whatever you'll be doing, have a great day. You deserve it next week. With that, I thank you all for the opportunity for allowing us, the Graduate Student Association, to report to the board and to share our thoughts. And as we move forward, I hope that my successors will have the same privilege that I've had over the past 2 years. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and have a wonderful rest of the morning.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. And I appreciate you acknowledging Madam Provost's hard work. Because we do know that she and the entire faculty and this is a very special time. And again, we face the challenge head on. And as a result, I think we are a lot stronger than we were at the beginning. So it was, and thank you for also acknowledging the challenge that we're facing with the mental health issue, because I think the pandemic truly magnifying how severe this issue is, and something we definitely need to address. And I think it's a challenge not only for our university, but it's a challenge for the nation or for the world. And the pandemic and the isolation comes with it, certainly magnified it. So, and we have, do we have any, first of all, I think we have a presentation from the president, and it's the Discovering a Pathway to Purpose. Mr. President, the stage is yours again.
Thank you, Chair Chen. As I mentioned in my opening remarks, we're going to be celebrating 2,433 Bronco graduates in a little over a week. And these individuals are really remarkable individually and collectively for their accomplishments of getting a degree, weathering the storms and challenges that we were just talking about, that the pandemic brought on top of all of the usual challenges of studying and life that are out there. And they arrive at this juncture ready for the next chapter in their life. So today I wanted to share, let them share some of their stories about the journey that they've been on. All of the presenters today will have earned a bachelor's degree, and they really serve as a great reminder of why is it that we do this? Why do we get up every morning as an institution? And what's the value of what we're trying to commit ourselves to every day and into the future? And that's really to offer opportunities to our students to find their purpose, to discover their real abilities, their potential, and help them thrive in an ever-changing world. And so these are a number of students who will, I think, put that ideal and give us some context to it. So the first speaker today is Liz Burns. Liz is one of our CETA scholars. As you all know, the CETA Scholars Program offers guidance, support, and community for students who've aged out of the foster care system and making the transition to college. It's really one of the crown jewel programs for this campus. Liz is earning a degree in psychology and behavioral science. She has served as a peer mentor to help new scholars make the transition to Western, and was an orientation leader in 2018, successfully mentoring over 100 new Broncos. She's a member of Phi Sigma Pi National Honor Fraternity, a gender-inclusive organization that helped her use her skills in scholarship, leadership, and fellowship. Phi Sigma Pi nominated Liz to WMU's 2019 Homecoming Court and making her the court's first CETA Scholar representative. Her memorable study abroad trip to India set Liz on a future course of travel and helping others. With that, I'd love to let Liz tell us a little about her story. Liz?
Thank you, Dr. Montgomery, and good afternoon, everyone, in 1 minute. As a freshman, I was scared to talk to my roommate, let alone the Board of Trustees, so I really appreciate you all taking the time to hear my story today. When I entered the foster care system in 2008, I wasn't sure if I'd even graduate high school, so college was the last thing on my mind. However, the same year that I entered the foster care system, just 140 miles away, the SETA Scholars Program was born. Though I didn't know how much it would change my life until many years later, I'm grateful that I followed my gut and applied to the only university that truly felt like home. The metamorphosis I went through in the last 5 years is a direct reflection of the importance of student support programs. All of my experiences on this campus have stemmed directly from the resources and community I found in the SETA Scholars Program. One of my first days on campus, one of the SETA Scholar campus coaches left me with this quote. He said, "If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together." I didn't realize what that meant until I got my first semester grades back and saw that I had been on the dean's list. You can probably imagine my surprise as my freshman year of high school, I found myself on academic probation. I thought that my high grades in college were just a fluke, but after some considerations, I realized that that was a product of going together and going far. I couldn't have done it without the community, organizations, campus partners, professors, friends, my family, everyone who went out of their way to check in with me and give me the courage to keep going even when it felt like I couldn't. All of the late night study sessions and early morning Zoom calls were so worth it when I heard that I was a role model to other SETA scholars. I wanted to show them that if I could graduate, they could absolutely graduate. If I've taken one thing away from my experience at Western, it's that we have work to do. Nationally, only about 10% of foster care alumni will graduate with a college degree. But I can tell you this, those of us who do graduate will go on to change the world for that 90% who won't have the opportunity. We stand with you and we're rooting for you. I'll spend the rest of my life sharing my story and advocating for reform of the system that has wronged us. And I encourage you all to do the same. From the bottom of my heart, sincerely, thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you for sharing your story. Our second speaker is Nicholas Hammond. He's a presidential scholar. The recipients of this scholarship are chosen by faculty members for their academic and artistic excellence in their chosen major, as well as for their overall promise for success. It represents the university's highest academic honor for undergraduates. Nicholas will be graduating with a major in sales and business marketing, leadership and business strategy, and a minor in general business. He's graduating with a 4.0 grade point average and has made the dean list for 8 semesters. He was a finalist for Student Leader of the Year and was Western's Homecoming King. He's been a member of the Sales and Business Marketing Association's executive board, serving in multiple roles. As a member of Phi Gamma Delta fraternity, he created the organization's mental health chair and served in other leadership roles. An active volunteer with multiple community organizations, he's also completed 4 internships and is currently a teaching assistant for 2 marketing courses. Following graduation, he'll begin his career at Qualtrics, as a sales development representative in Dallas. Nicholas, congratulations on graduating. Please tell us a little bit about your Western experience.
Thank you so much, Dr. Montgomery, and thank you so much to everybody in this room. This is truly an honor. So again, my name is Nick Hammond, and I came to Western 4 years ago from a very small town just south of Detroit. And I came from a graduating class of 74 students. So making the jump to Western was a pretty big deal for me. And so coming to Kalamazoo, I didn't come with any friends. And not having friends was a theme for my entire first semester. I barely left my dorm. I didn't join any student organizations, and I truly did not make any friends. My one roommate ended up dropping out and going back home to be with his family. And to be honest, I was jealous. I suffered from severe depression that semester, and I wanted to give up. And I remember one night distinctly in my stupid dorm room bunk bed, lofted at the very top, looking up at the white concrete ceiling. And something in my gut said, Nick, just give it one more semester, give it everything you got. And if you want to give up after that, then you can go home with your head held high, knowing that you gave it your all. So giving it my all was exactly what I did. I got a job, I joined multiple student organizations, and I made it a game to meet and befriend as many people as possible. And I started to finally prioritize my mental health. And looking back, that has been one of the most transformational semesters of my entire life. Fast forward 2 years, I was crowned Homecoming King of Western Michigan, which is truly the most incredible honor I've ever had in my life. Going from having absolutely no friends and dropping out to now being the representative for over 20,000 students. And now with that platform, I've used it to be an advocate for mental health awareness because it's truly been such a big deal for me. So within my fraternity, I created the first mental health chair for Greek life, and I've even inspired a couple other chapters around me. And that's an incredible honor to leave my legacy that way. Truly, Western Michigan has given me so many opportunities to grow, to develop, and to mature as a human being, and I am truly so grateful. I used to tell everyone that Western Michigan saved my life, but I was wrong. Western Michigan empowered me to save myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nick. Our third speaker is Samantha Soria Ramirez. She's a foundation scholar. Individuals who receive foundation scholarships have demonstrated academic excellence and personal resilience, even as they've experienced significant economic and personal hardships on their pathway to college. Samantha is earning her degree with a major in behavioral sciences and a minor in biology. She's worked as a student ambassador for the College of Arts and Sciences and is a peer coach. She's a member of Phi Beta Kappa Honor Society, the Psi Chi International Honor Society in Psychology, and the Alpha Lambda Delta Honor Society. She's currently a research assistant in clinical psychology lab and completing an honors thesis in behavioral neuroscience lab. She plans to pursue a doctoral degree in veterinary medicine with a goal of working with wildlife and exotic animals. Samantha, again, congratulations on your graduation and best wishes. Please tell us a little bit about your Western experience.
Thank you, Dr. Montgomery. So my name's Sam, and I just want to start off by sharing a little bit about my pathway and my experience as a student here. So to begin, I received an email that I've been anticipating since I stepped foot on campus about 4 years ago. I felt my heart race and joy all throughout my body as I read the words, the 2021 commencement ceremony. And in that moment, I felt extremely proud of myself for how far I have come, and I felt thankful for all the opportunities and the support that I have been provided with, and the experiences and the memories that I have made. However, this pathway to this very moment has not been the easiest. About 4 years ago, as a senior in high school, I sat on the floor of my room with papers sprawled all around me, tears running down my face as I tried to fill out college applications and essays through a small Android phone. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. And it was also on that day that I realized that college was not going to be easy as a first generation immigrant student from a low socioeconomic background. In fact, on the night of my high school graduation, my dad was deported, and on the very first day of college, the president at the time, Donald Trump, formally ended DACA, which is the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, a program that allows people like me to stay in the US without fear of deportation. So needless to say, coming in as a freshman, it was really, really hard. But thankfully, by deciding to attend Western, I received financial assistance through the Foundation Scholarship, the Kalamazoo Promise, and the DACA grant. But even with financial assistance, college can still be very difficult to navigate for many first generation students. And there's been many times through these past 4 years where I've sat and cried thinking, what am I doing? Because my goals seemed so far away. But luckily, I wasn't alone. The Foundation Scholars Program, other organizations, my friends, and my families provided me with immense support. So despite all the ups and downs, I am truly grateful for my time at Western because I've made friendships that I know will last a lifetime. I've traveled to beautiful places. I've learned about different cultures, and I've tried all sorts of delicious foods. I've attended plays put on by students. I've walked through campus with friends wondering what it would be like to swim in the Miller Fountain. I've stepped on the W, but I did not run to the whale. I've given tours to future Broncos in all sorts of weathers. I've lived in the dorms. I've been bitten by many lab rats in Henneke Hall. I've ate all sorts of snacks at the flagpoles during the fall semesters. Basically, I've had many experiences that I believe define what it's like to attend Western. And as I prepare for my graduation next week, I feel grateful and I feel blessed for the experiences that I've had. But I've also come to realize that none of these experiences would have been possible without the Foundation Scholars Program, without the Kalamazoo Promise or the DACA grant. So Western, thank you for supporting some of these programs, and I hope you continue supporting the Foundation Scholarship, the CETA Scholarship, the DACA grant, the CAMP program, the MLK Gold Scholarship, and all other programs and scholarships that allow students of all backgrounds to reach their goals and have that college experience. So with that being said, thank you for the support provided to me these past 4 years, for listening to me, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Sam. Our fourth speaker is Nolan Toombs. He's a medallion scholar. This scholarship is a merit-based competitive award that's presented to incoming students who are leaders in and out of the classroom. Medallion scholars demonstrate outstanding academic performance, leadership, and a commitment to making the world a better place. Nolan is graduating with a double major in biomedical sciences and interdisciplinary health services. He worked as a research assistant in the Department of Physical Therapy and was a member of the Student Health Advisory Council at Syracuse Health Center, and served as a founding member and president of Serving Kalamazoo Youth, a registered student organization established by the 2017 medallion class to encourage WMU students to tutor at Boys and Girls Clubs of the Greater Kalamazoo. In addition to his work with the RSO, Nolan is also volunteering at WMU's COVID-19 vaccination site. Following graduation, he intends to attend medical school. So again, congratulations to you, Nolan, on your graduation. Please share with us a little bit about your story here at Western.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. When I reflect back at my time at Western, I cannot believe how fast the last 4 years have gone by. With the exception of last March, of course, but everything else has been an absolute blur. But it seems like just yesterday I was here on campus as a scared high school senior interviewing for the Medallion Scholarship, and now flash forward 4 years later and my time here is drawing to a close, and it almost feels surreal. During my tenure here, Western has been everything that I needed it to be and so much more, and I'm gonna miss that. Over the last 4 years, I've developed relationships with my professors and advisors that have made me feel like I am not just a student on campus here, but I'm a member of a community here, which has been really, really, really nice. In particular, the staff at the Lee Honors College has been nothing short of phenomenal. I've always felt like they really cared about my success and well-being, and I think the support I have received here has really been one of the driving factors for my success as a student. Sometimes I feel like the faculty there had more faith in me than I had in myself, and that really pushed me to reach my full potential. And having a support system like that for me was absolutely huge, and it really helped me become confident in myself, which was something that I used to struggle with. To me, what makes WMU so special is the opportunities that are present to students. I'm a firm believer that we need to take, steps out of our comfort zone every once in a while and get involved in things that we're completely unfamiliar with. And here I had the opportunity as a biomedical sciences major to get involved in research through the Department of Physical Therapy and the Department of Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences, which are two areas not related to my major at all. So, I mean, at other universities, getting research experience outside of your, program of study is almost impossible. But here I had that opportunity. I think that's really what's made me a well-rounded individual. And I have to thank Western for that, because I don't think I would be the person I am today without those opportunities. Being a Bronco has been one of the greatest experiences of my life. And I am so grateful that I got to be a part of this community over the last 4 years. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And I really feel like Western has prepared me for anything that's going to come my way. And I really am looking forward to representing WMU as a Bronco alumni. And thank you so much for your time.
So I want to thank Nolan, Sam, Nick, and Liz for sharing their really inspiring stories. These are really four outstanding graduates and really great representatives of what Western is all about. So we look forward to continuing to celebrate your successes as Western alumni. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Chair Chen Zhang.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thanks for bringing us this four outstanding graduates and share with, yeah, I saw Vice Chair Johnston show his thumbs, and I think those are very inspiring stories, and especially the four was a little bit of different background and different route. However, we see the impact Western, our education did for their lives. And I would echo what actually Nick said in his presentation, that in life, we would like to wait for a Superman, but there's really no Superman. So what we can do as educators is to empower our students to be their own Superman, to conquer the challenges they will face in life. And so thank you again. Thank you for bringing us those students. They let us see the purpose and see why we do what we do. So next we have Secretary Schuman. Do we have any public comments?
Chair Chen Zhang, we do not.
Okay, thank you. So we have just a couple action items today on the agenda. The first is the undergraduate tuition simplification strategy from, let's hear from Madam Provost.
Thank you so much. And I had to wipe away a couple of tears. Thank you to our students and for Dr. Montgomery for bringing those students to remind us why we do what we do. Transforming lives. Thank you. So I'm here to talk about how we can make that transformation easier to understand. I'm here to present formally to the board today an undergraduate tuition simplification strategy, Chair Chen Zhang, as you mentioned earlier. Our current rate structures for undergraduate tuition are difficult to understand and are expressed differently than our peers, making the value of a Western Michigan degree that we've heard from our students this afternoon, making that value hard for prospective students to weigh against our competitors and peers. Our newly proposed streamlined tuition structure will help our students and families understand what they are paying for and how it relates to other institutions. This also, as you said earlier, Chair Chen Zhang, allows us to create multi-year financial aid strategies to assist our students in paying for their education so they can also get that email that says commencement. Currently, our undergraduate tuition and fees vary by course modality: main campus courses, regional in-person and online courses, residency status, and upper and lower division. Main campus and regional site credit hours are assessed based on residency and class level, whereas online are not charged based on residency or class level. A technology fee of $20 is associated per online courses. An enrollment fee for main campus students is based on those main campus credit hours. Differential tuition is also assessed by 3 colleges by credit hour on main campus, in-person, and online. Under our proposed approach, which we spent several weeks engaging our campus in discussion around, all registered undergraduate courses will be included in the university's flat rate tuition model, the tuition model that charges the same price for 12 and 15 hours. Programs that are 100% online will not be included in the flat rate model, as is the course right now, due to market conditions and enrollment patterns unique to those programs. Therefore, the pricing model for online programs will not change under this proposed tuition restructuring plan. So here's what we're trying to do. We're proposing today 1 tuition rate schedule across all modalities: main, campus, regional sites, and online. The enrollment fee would be reduced and eliminated by including it in the tuition rate. We would eliminate the technology fee that's charged per online course. And as I said, all registered credit hours will be included in the flat rate tuition model, where students pay the same rate for course loads between 12 and 15 hours, while maintaining status or classifications for level and residency. We propose also to eliminate the legacy tuition rate structure that has been in place for non-resident undergraduate students that were admitted prior to summer 1, 2017. Programs that are 100% online are not included in the flat rate and will be assessed their own rate. And the student assessment fee and sustainability fee, which are student body imposed fees, are administered outside of Western Michigan University's administration. They will continue to be assessed to all undergraduate and graduate students except those in fully online programs. With all of that being said, we recommend that effective with the fall 2021 semester, the Board of Trustees approve the proposed undergraduate tuition assessment strategy just described. And I welcome the opportunity to answer any questions.
Any questions?
I have a couple, and my AirPods are dying, so I apologize if I go outside of it too. I just got that notification. But first of all, a comment. I love transparent and simple, but a lot of times, transparent and simple is not simple but to implement. So I accommodate you. Basically, I'm happy to that you guys are going after this. There's a number of moving parts. On this is how quickly can we implement this, or when will this actually be implemented?
So we're proposing this, thank you for that question. We're proposing this for fall of 2021. So this coming
Perfect.
fall.
Good. And then I know, there's a lot of changes to students and I know, sometimes you get input from other people, can you sort of walk me through, where you've gotten input from other people and other groups basically, so we make sure that it's, sometimes we don't see all the full effects on these items, so.
Sure, and I really appreciate that question. So we have spoken with the House and the Senate of the Western Student Association. We spoke with the Faculty Senate Executive Board as well as we presented this at the full Faculty Senate. We've spoken with the Collegiate Deans, the Provost Council, Academic Forum. And so we had an article, I believe, in the Western Herald. And so we spent the last probably 2 months, I would say, asking for feedback and input. And the overwhelming sentiment is one of gratitude for clarity. Our rate structure, as are most of the institutions in Michigan, is complex to understand. And this allows our students to see and again, compare to other peer institutions and be able to ascertain the value of our degree.
And one last one, even with all that input and our questions and all the work you go into, sometimes you have unintended consequences because of these broad changes. Can you sort of walk me through what your general philosophy? I know I'm not looking for specific cases and hopefully none of them happen, but what would be your philosophy to work with ones where, you sort of have an unintended consequence to a student or to a group of students? Yeah.
Oh, I think that's a great question. And it's one that the pandemic has helped us practice how we respond. And so if there are, we believe this will largely be a net neutral strategy. And so if there are individual issues, we encourage folks to come to my office. We've worked in the past to help with individual registration or individual situations that come as a result of very idiosyncratic registration choices. We work with those and can accommodate as needed. But we've modeled many of the scenarios out, and this because we're getting rid of a fee and blending in, it shouldn't have a negative impact. But we'll address those as we have in the past through my office.
Thank you, Provost Spot. That's all the questions I have. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Anyone else? Okay, thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you, Provost. And Secretary Schumann, is that a voice call vote?
It's a roll call vote.
Yeah.
So, we need.
Can you administrate it, please?
I move on the motion.
Or. Thank you. Chair Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Johnson.
Yes.
Trustee Kitchens.
Yes.
Trustee Penn.
Yes.
Trustee Reinvelt.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Turfy.
Yes.
Chair Chen Zhang, motion passes.
Thank you, Secretary Schumann. And the second item, action item, is the WMUK FM COVID-19 PPP loan program. PPP loan, sorry. Then go back to you, Jen, again.
Well, hello again. It's been so long since we've seen each other. So I'm here this morning or afternoon again. I'm going to introduce in just a moment Stephen Williams, who serves as WMUK's general manager. He joined us in 2016. Prior to joining WMUK, Stephen served as the general manager for WESM, a public radio station in Princess Anne, Maryland. Most recently, Stephen, we spoke to Stephen just over a year ago, I think at this time, as he led a creation of a strategic plan for WMUK and spearheaded the initiative that we talked about then to restructure WMUK's programming, which included the addition of a second frequency focused on music. This morning, this afternoon, as you indicated, Trustee Chen Zhang, Stephen will be sharing his request for a PPP loan. Stephen.
Yes, thank you so much, Provost Fox, for allowing me to be here, and I'm happy to answer any questions that there may be. If you'd like, I can go into detail and read the proposal to the board, or I can launch straight into questions if you like.
Stephen, if you could please give us a summary of the background, and then if you could read the action statement, please.
Okay, sure. Well, I'll give you the truncated version. So WMUK, as most businesses across the country and the globe, has experienced a severe contraction in the amount of revenue that we've been able to bring in the past year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In particular, it has impacted our advertising revenue sales, as most businesses have been forced to close or to reduce their hours significantly. Their marketing budgets have been similarly impacted, and that has had a direct impact on our bottom line. So far, we have had a shortfall of approximately $100,000, which is less than the 175 goal that we had. We're looking at right now. I was just talking to our corporate salesperson that including cash and trade. Trade is a form of in-kind revenue that we receive. We're on target for about 85,000 for the year by the fiscal year end. That again is significantly less than what we were projecting before the pandemic hit. And fortunately, the federal government is offering a pathway to help the station to weather some of this economic turbulence through the personal paycheck protection program. The first draw loan, talked to our counterparts at National Public Radio, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and the University Station Alliance, which is designed to help stations like WMUK, which are non-commercial stations licensed to universities. And we were strongly encouraged to take advantage of this forgivable loan opportunity. I think the key note here is it is forgivable if it is used 100% for salary costs, which we would use it for. So we do not anticipate that we would need to repay this loan in any way. We have also sustained some other losses that frankly all other departments have incurred due to COVID-19. So we have more than enough to use this funding for to cover our payroll needs. And it also ensures that we have some cash reserves moving forward into the next fiscal year. Little bit of good news, we will also be receiving some additional stabilization money from a separate pot from the federal government that was a little more than what I was expecting initially. So we think that the combination of the PPP loan along with the stabilization funding and some additional funds that we've received, thanks in large part to support from the University Foundation, will help us to weather this economic storm, which frankly is going to continue for a few more years. We don't anticipate most businesses in our region are going to be, ready to open their checkbooks and start spending madly right away. Of course, we hope they do, but we have to plan for probably a more gradual return to normality, particularly as we have to think, a year in advance. So I hope that answers, some of the questions that you might have and provides a basic summary of the reasons why we're requesting this loan.
And Trustee Pan has a question.
Yeah, so I'm all for it and support of it. And I know you probably already know the answer to this, but this is a forgivable loan because it's covering payroll. The question is, did the person that you've been talking to at the bank tell you like the deadline to apply for that? And then like where are you at with that in thinking? What's your thinking on that?
Sure, that's a great question, Trustee Penn. Thank you for asking that. We have not yet talked to a financial institution because we wish to seek approval from the Board of Trustees before we move forward with that. But to answer your question, the deadline to apply for a PPP loan was extended by Congress to May 31st. So the window to apply is fairly short. One of the things that we're planning to do is to work with the Office of Research and Innovation and also there is a Michigan Small Business Development Center here on campus. There's a wonderful person I've been talking to who has offered to help us through this process. And there are a number of financial institutions that we can talk to. There's a bank in Colorado that has been working very closely with stations just like our own that has a lot of experience kind of holding your hand through this, but we can use other financial institutions closer to Kalamazoo if needed.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions from the trustees? Hearing none, thank you, Provost Bott, and thank you, Stephen. I think this is a great opportunity, and this is what the money is intended for things like this. So we should definitely take advantage of it. I mean, full support. So this will also be a roll call vote, right, Secretary Schumann?
Again, a roll call. Chair Chen Zhang, if you could ask for a motion and then a second.
Yeah. So do I have a motion?
So moved. Support.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, Chair Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Johnston.
Yes.
Trustee Kitchens.
Yes.
Trustee Penn.
Yes.
Trustee Reinvelt.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Turfy.
Yes.
Chair Chen Zhang, motion passes.
Thank you, and good luck with the loan.
Thank you very much.
So then next we have the consent items on the curriculum proposals and a personnel report. So if anyone would like to remove any of the consent items for further discussion? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the consent items?
So moved.
Support.
Favor?
Chair Chen Zhang.
Yes.
Trustee Edgerton.
Yes.
Vice Chair Johnston.
Yes.
Trustee Kitchens.
Yes.
Trustee Penn.
Yes.
Trustee Reinvelt.
Yes.
Trustee Trevan.
Yes.
Trustee Turfy.
Yes.
Chair Chen Zhang, consent items pass.
Thank you, Secretary Schumann. Do we have any general public comments?
We do not, Chair Chen Zhang.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to adjourn the last meeting of the spring semester. Thank you and stay safe. And I hate to say this, but stay warm too. Bye.